$100 a week. $100 a week. What the fuck I'ma eat? I ain't even have enough to put some cash in the safe. I ain't even make enough to put some gas in the tank. Plus my phone bill was 86 and Sprint was trying to play me. I couldn't even take what's left to go and open up a savings. But my beats were so fire I could warm the whole house up. But nobody didn't listen, it was quiet as a mouse. I couldn't even help my mama with the lights in the house. Trust me, this isn't what I thought what life was about, yeah. Next week, got my check, cashed it, bought some shoes, and then again I was broke. At times, I couldn't even go and buy me a Coke. And when it got cold, I couldn't buy me a coat. Being broke was all a joke, I couldn't even fucking laugh at. I couldn't even get the last laugh. My nigga, goddamn. My nigga. Yeah. My nigga, goddamn. Out of all the quarters and pennies. Products for the summertime, got fired from my job. All I did was hit the basement, selling beats to everybody. Still ain't I grew up on Dexter on Ewart Circle. It's cool. My mom my mom and pops was there at the time. My brother had a brother. You know, I learned about my mom's extensive record collection while we stayed there. And I still have a lot of those records to this day. I think I sampled on some of them too. It was cool, you know, we didn't really have like everything in the world, so it humbled me from the start. And my mom ended up getting a higher position because she didn't want us to stay over there. It started getting really bad. And then we moved to Redford. We still kept our crib on Dexter, but we moved. I think I was like 7 or 8 or something like that. But I think that's where like a lot of my humble beginnings started. Something I did every day and didn't care if I got paid for it or not. I just loved making music. I love sounds, I love chords, I love hearing stuff that I could only make, you know? And it was fun to me. In high school, I barely went out. I had a studio, I turned my mama's basement into a studio. And I hated working because I hated listening to my bosses. They were assholes. So I just took everything I knew from music and would record. I turned my mama's basement I took the screen door, made it a booth. Shit, I was making beats at this point like this. I always had a keyboard, but I was doing the same thing then, and I would, you know, was just like people would come by and like record and like buy beats and stuff. It was just fun to me. There was nothing else to do but that. So. I'm going to say Jay Dilla sampled God from Detroit, and he's from like 7 Mile. I'm quite sure, yeah. And Pharrell, chords was nuts. He like was a musician. And Chad's cool. Pharrell and Chad, the Neptunes. Kanye, another sample. God. Rick Rubin, because the License to Ill album was nuts for the Beastie Boys, and their drum, like everything was just 808 based, basically, and like snares and hi-hats, but it just sounded sweet. And the Paul Revere beat and the reverse shit, oh shit. I know everybody ended up like sampling that and shit, but like, on them, the way the Beastie Boys used it was crazy. Rick Rubin and Timbaland, shit he was doing for Aaliyah was crazy, and Genuine, and Missy. Who else? Who else I was listening to tough? And a lot of the oldies, I wish I could know the composers on them. A lot of vinyl, so whoever was working on a lot of those, like the Quincy. Why wasn't that? Yeah. And I ended up growing into listening to No Idea a lot. I learned a lot from him at one point, working with Sean on a couple of his early projects. I could just go down the list, really, but some for starters, and myself. But I think it's pretty musical, chords mainly. I really focus on the more melodic side of things versus the drums. So if this is a word, cordial, smooth, therapeutic, different, God-given, you know, cool to listen to. Something that's relaxing. When I come here, I just cut on music and just sleep to it sometimes. I think it's cool I could do it to my shit, you know? But yeah, it's some of those terms. When I was I used to go to church with my mom a lot when I was a kid. Our choir director knew how he was really good, really good. And I used to tell my mom every day, like, I want to play. Can you can I come to the church and just like he teach me stuff? His name was Mark Willis, and I'm trying to figure out where he's at to this day. But he was one of my first directors. He was one of the first choir pianists at the church, and he, I used to meet up with him like every 2 times a week, and he would teach me some of the chords in some of the gospel records. I ended up using some of the chords in some of the songs to this day. It's crazy. But after that, my mama would like see me constantly like playing through the stuff. She bought me like this keyboard from we used to get JCPenney catalogs to the crib, and she ordered one from there. So they had this like pretty cheesy drum selection, but I would take the drums from there. The crazy 88 on there. It's like the only thing sweet on there, the 808 drum. I would take that and combine it with what I would learn in my lessons, and it would be sweet. And I would just play them for like my brother and stuff. And my brother like, yo, you're really cool and shit. And then after that, I went to started learning at my high school at Cass Tech, and this is where Sean went to. And my teacher gave me a hard fucking time, but my theory teacher did, but my piano teacher, she taught me a lot. And then ended up meeting Sean prior to me going to Cass, because my brother used to hang out with him a lot before my brother moved to Chicago, and my older cousin was like a good friend of his at the time. And I think I had like some beats loaded on the keyboard. They all got back from like an auto show or something that was going on in Detroit. They all came downstairs. This was at the time, it was called Fresh Fam, and it ended up turning into Finally Famous. It was just a bunch of niggas in the DD clique, family really. And they came downstairs. My brother was like, yo, play them beats you was playing earlier. And because Sean was like one of the coldest rappers. He was always like doing ciphers and battling people. He was killing niggas still, but murdering niggas back then. So I played them. I remember the beat too. I could remake it right now if I could, but he fucked with it and was like, yo, keep improving your equipment and your sound, man. We gonna work together for real. He ended up keeping his word, you know. But after that, after like high school, when I went to high school, I was, playing the piano and doing sessions and stuff. I started like improving my equipment. Started off on Fruity Loops, had the demo joint where I had the QWERTY keyboard, and I was just killing that shit all that night. My mom was like, what are you doing? Making beats. Then I went from that to GarageBand. She ended up getting me some new equipment for Christmas. It was tight. She ended up giving me like a new keyboard and everything. Key Wane was a nickname given to me from everybody when I was like 18, 19, yeah. Early Mac, one of my good friends, brother, basically. Say Ain't Tone. Basically everybody in Finally Famous in the studios we would be at. When I started recording with Early, I used to always just want to just play the key because I didn't really have the equipment to really like fully exercise the music that I want to do. So we were making beats together. Earl make beats. And Earl would like do drums and be like, what you gonna do on this? What you gonna do on this? So I like just play some crazy key shit. I was just learning forever, just never knew how to use it. And then niggas was like, damn, nigga, you on the keys? Nigga, damn, Key Wane. And it just started happening like that. Key Wane. Everybody started calling me that. Yeah. I collect a lot of shit. As you can see, a bunch of it's in here. It's in the garage. It's in every room. It's at home. My mama got a crazier collection than me. My family got more. But yeah, I just like, you know, I just think it's cool. Like a lot of the sounds they were using back in the day were crazy. A lot of the chords and the movements, the everything was just nuts. The soul was different back in the day. It was ridiculous soul in these records. Not saying it's not a lot of soul now, but I feel like you can catch a lot of soul in old school records and in church songs. So like that, and on the clearance thing, I mean, I've had songs that couldn't get cleared and they just became throwaways. Like Fourth Quarter for Sean, there's a bunch of samples in there. We just didn't really even, it was, I guess it was unclearable at the time. But my whole thing on that is like, you know, I think we should just make the music first and then worry about all that clearance shit later. I think people let the clearance stuff stop the song from even happening. Let's just record it first. You never know what can happen. Because somebody could end up remaking the sample, or you never know, like you could put it out and it could be something bigger than what you thought. So I don't really focus too much on the clearance side, honestly. Not saying like I'm just releasing samples and, you know, getting sued. I'm just saying it's not something that's like on my mind. I make the music first and then just go from there, because you never know what could happen. Well, I only probably released, I mean, that got cleared. I think that's one of the only songs I ever had, that's a single that got a sample in it. Oh, and I mean, that got cleared. I Don't Fuck With You, yeah. Out of all the singles I did, I think all I had was just like 2 samples. But outside of the singles, there's a bunch of sample records out. Like Higher could have been a single for Sean, but ended up being on one of the best mixtapes of all fucking time. So, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, you just never know where stuff could end up or lead to. So it's not really a concern for me sometimes. I made the beat in school. I was like a sophomore. So that beat was sitting around for like 3-4 years.
At TSU?
At TSU, yeah. This is when I first moved to my first apartment. And I was making beats, you know, and I would make folders for artists just in hopes I would run into them or I would get their email. So I had like a folder for Beyonce on deck years before I met her, and her people that was running her shit, the album, helping, you know, A&R and the album and stuff. So I think like 3 years later, I was in LA working on Sean's Hall of Fame, and Ricky Anderson, my nigga, hit me up. Was like, yo, come to the crib out in Tarzana and play me some beats. I heard you was in town. And I came through the crib, just played him every beat in the Beyonce folder, because I think he said he was working on Beyonce's album at the time. And I played him that, and he was just like, oh, I'm gonna give that to her. And I'm just thinking like, yeah. But shit, nigga, like 2 weeks later, they hit me up and was like, we want this beat. And she came to Nashville, she invited me to her show and everything, like, it was for real. And then she ended up picking another record too. Me and Drake was working on a whole bunch of shit. He hit me up after Amen came out on Twitter, and it was like, yo, that shit was special. I was like, damn, it's tight, it's crazy. He's like, yo, send me some more stuff. Let's create some more moments. And sent him like a shitload of beats. I gave him beats that he picked that ended up becoming like songs for Jasmine Sullivan. Like Mascara was a beat that he wanted, but Jasmine ended up picking it. I did this one record called Mine. It was called Yours. Well, at the time, it was called Yours and Mine. This shit, he ended up making it. It was his song at first. He was on there going crazy. It was like supposed to be like a really, if it would, it's a big record, but like Drake had it first. So he ended up telling me a wild story about how it ended up in her hands. But shout out to Drake for that, because you know he didn't have to do shit for a nigga, but he definitely like placed that in her people's hands. So a lot of these songs were recorded like in my dorm room and in like my studio apartment when I first had the opportunity to move off campus. So it was like some pretty old songs, but she ended up making them bangers. So. Amen. I don't think a lot of people, I think that got looked over. I Don't Fuck With You, even though it's one of my biggest records to date, I don't really think a lot of people noticed. I was behind the sample on that. Mascara, Let It Burn. A lot of, I would say a good handful of the records, because I'm really low key. I mean, I get out a lot, but I'm really focused. I'm in the crib working. So that's what I was called to do. So that's the only thing I'm gonna do. But mainly Amen, really, because that was my first biggest record. Amen, I was, oh shit. So, I was out in New York with Sean and Wiz Khalifa while they were on tour. And I came out there, my girl, she helped me scrape up some money for that Greyhound to get there. 17 fucking hours from Detroit to New York. It's crazy. But shit, got off the Greyhound and stranded. Somebody that was running the tour bus at the time told me the wrong location. So I'm thinking they're in Times Square. They're like, yo, look for the tour bus. It's at the Marriott. So I'm like walking to a Marriott in Times Square, and these niggas is in New Jersey. So I had like $50 on me. So I had to be so wise with that shit, because all I had was the Greyhound back. So I'm just be here for a day, really. So get to New Jersey, link with him. It was cool. You know, gave out as many beats as I possibly could, probably like one. But the next morning after, I had to go back to Times Square, and I was trying to figure out how to get there. So I just took whatever was left in my pocket and got a bus, got on the bus, whatever, like transit bus, whatever they call it out there, and went to Times Square. Was stranded for like 6 hours because my Greyhound ain't leave till like 6, and it's like 11 o'clock in the afternoon. Man. Walk around with some heavy ass luggage and shit. These people was trying to interview me for a minute. So it was like, yo, are you here? We heard you was here. Like, if you in Times Square, like, let us know. I was so pissed, I didn't even pick the fucking phone up, because I was like, I had to go back to school, and I didn't want to leave. But school was like the next day. So I'm walking down Times Square, and the guys that hit me up, they were like, oh, is Key Wane, is that you? I was like, oh shit, what up? And they like walked up to me and gave me an interview. It was like, yo, can we do it right here, right now? I was like, yeah, it's crazy. I was just like, damn, nigga, like, I don't even got no records out. Y'all going, it's crazy. But he, as he's talking to me, he's like, oh, do you know who that is over there by that hot dog stand? It was like 50 niggas. It's a bunch of niggas. I was like, nah, who is that? I'm gonna introduce you to him. So he walks me over there, and it's like Meek and all his people. This is when Meek was blowing up too. Fuck with Meek tough, for real. So he walks up to him, like taps him. He's like, yo, Meek, what's up? I think Meek knew the dude too, because I guess he gave him an interview before. And he's like, yo, I want to introduce you to somebody. This is Key Wane. He's like, oh yeah, you did Memories for Sean. It's like one of my best. That's like one of my best songs right now. I mean, my favorite songs right now. I was like, oh damn, that's dope. I really appreciate that. He's just like, yeah, man, send me some beats. Matter of fact, how long you gonna be here? I'm gonna be working on my album tonight. This was working on Dreams and Nightmares, I think. And you know, I ain't had no motherfucking man. I couldn't stay an extra day. So I was like, man, I gotta go to school. And I'll send you some beats tonight. And I ended up sending them Amen, and that ended up becoming one of my first biggest records. It's crazy. And it was like on my brokest day too. Like, I ended up taking another 17 hours back to Detroit and Dallas. At the Dallas, the head A&R at Atlantic, Dallas Martin. He's from Flint, I think. Yeah, Pontiac. But he helped the song and everything, but I sent it over to them, and it was history after that. Yeah. I'd probably say All Me, because of shit. That was it's like That shit happened on like one of the brokest moments in my fucking life, you know? Facing eviction. I clearly didn't get evicted because I left before they could even send the papers to the door. But they gave me a heads up like, yeah, you behind. And a bunch of shit, you know, a lot of things at the time, with a lot of the songs that I was doing, a lot of stuff wasn't on time at the time. So it would hold me up. So I had to move home. And when I went home, it was just like I was making a bunch of beats. Like I made that, a bunch of songs. But I think Sean flew me out to LA for his birthday at the time. I think this was like 2013 or something, 2014. So I was out there, I was just making beats. I was going through samples I had. I ended up chopping up this one sample. I had it for so long though. It's crazy. I was just like going through it and clicked on it. And it's cost me a lot. One thing that I got a lot, it's like how I chopped it up. It's so sweet. And then I remember I was in contact with Drake a lot. You know, I sent him that, and then he hit me up, sent me a message like 5 minutes later, like, this shit crazy. Chains in the studio, we on this bitch ripping. Like, this bitch about to come out. It's about to be my next shit. So I'm like, oh, fuck. And I'm like broke as shit. I'm just like, man, hell yeah. So then I had gave it to Sean after that because I wanted him on it. Because I just felt like, you know, put my mans on that shit, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, everybody did their verses, it just didn't have a hook. So I remember he was telling me like, man, I love this song. It's so powerful. I fuck with it so much. It's just not going nowhere. It's like, I don't have no, it's just really just verses. I don't got no hook. If you got any ideas, please, you know, send them to me. And I asked him, I was like, yo, can I write a hook? And he was like, yeah, go ahead. So I wrote a hook and like I sent it to him. Hours later, he was like, yo, this shit is crazy. This shit's coming out like in 2 weeks. And 2 weeks later, it came out. It's like my favorite record because like when I wrote the hook, I used to wake up every morning and go run around a track by my mom's house. So I would take my laptop with me and listen to beats. I would load them. I would like put the beats on my phone clearly and run around the track and listen to the beats. I would listen to the all-me beat like every time. That whole day I was running. When I was running, I just came up with this crazy idea. Even though I had nothing at the time. But you know, I got everything, I cannot complain, I cannot. I was like, it's kind of tight. So I was like, the headphones on the motherfucking, these bitches. They got a microphone on them. And I ain't really, like, you know, I wanted to record the song so bad. I had my laptop in the car. So I thought of the idea while I was running and I went in the car. I loaded the beat up on GarageBand or some shit and recorded it right here and sent it to him. And he fucked with it and he was like, yo, this shit's coming out, and it came out. Shit went platinum. It's like one of my favorite beats and I feel like one of my most like best songs too. Yeah, when I graduated from school, I think it's because I didn't really have I ended up receiving all that. Everything that I deserved, I ended up getting it, plus no thanks to God. But I know at the time, I was just signed. I didn't really have the proper representation at the time, like management-wise. So like I was doing a lot of everything on my own. So the reason why a lot of the things that I was, that wasn't on time wasn't coming through, I think, I put the wrong address on some of the stuff. So I stayed in room 611. I think like the way I wrote it was like 610. So when I'm at home and I'm working on all these songs, I used to call the complex like, yo, do I have any mail? Do I have any mail? They're like, well, we're gonna check, but we don't know. So I'm just like, all right. For 5 months I would call them and they just never knew. Then one random like Tuesday I called them, I was like, yo, do y'all have any mail of mine? I keep calling because nothing's coming to my mom's house. Oh, we have a bucket of mail from you in the corner. I'm like, from who? And they just started naming off labels and shit and I was so happy. I went there the first thing and I stayed here since. And I would just go back and forth. I stay there and here now, so. I talk to God every day. you know, I pray. I think that's my only formula. It's prayer. I don't do nothing else different than practice. You know, practice every day. Stay dedicated. Work towards a craft. Don't work for money. Work for like inspiration. Inspire somebody else. Motivate somebody else. Change somebody else's situation. You know, all that other shit will fall in place after that. Just focus on what you was called to do. But prayer, you know, prayer. That's the only thing I could really tell somebody. Like, man, I pray every day. I'm like, Lord, help me out. Help this happen. Or give me more ideas that could change something. Change the sound or shift the sound or something. So it's been working. It's gonna forever work. I tell you about it, you know. I tell you about what he's doing, you know, and then it just goes full circle. So. Yeah. They just help me out in a lot of areas that I probably just can't see myself. Like Warner would get me in sessions sometimes if like somebody's having like a writer's camp in LA, meaning like the artist is working on their album and they just want a bunch of producers out there, they'll set that up. They'll like hit me up. Like when, I forgot who album it was, but like, you know, they'll just fly all the producers out and just put them in rooms. So, you know, I really fuck with Warner, Chappell, and Sean for a lot of the things they do, honestly. So it's really like that extra hand. Even though I do a lot on my own, it's like that extra push, you know what I'm saying? Nashville, it's like a lot of history here, musically, you know? I get inspiration here just like I get it in Detroit. I get a lot of it in Detroit because it's so soulful there. It's crazy. You feel it without headphones. But it's just like, I like Nashville, you know. I went to school here, so it's a lot of memory here for me. I like it here. I think that's kind of self-explanatory. I just really fuck with it here, you know. Band play is cold. I think y'all did a story on him. Yeah. Loco the man. The photographers. I rock with him tough. Oh, the female chick, the Kaya Lacey, she's dope. Who else? Crisis. I learned from him, and DJ Weezy. I learned from him too. On the DJing shit, cause I be DJing too. Photographers. It's a lot of talent out here. My man's GT Lambo. Y'all heard of him? He be shooting. I fuck with him. Tough. And Benjo. Who else out here? I feel like I'm leaving some people out. Loke. Who else? Wilkes. We stayed on the same floor at TSU. And we got the same birthday. He stayed like 2 doors down. I fuck with him tough. Shout out to him. But band play. Is there any other producers out here I'm rocking with? I really can't think of. Yeah, band play cold. Fuck with band play. Oh, Buck. And Cook Up. That's my man. Lido. I'll be running to him all the time at like restaurants and shit. No, it's the same. I treat everybody the same. You know, it's I got beats for everybody. You know, I'm really just trying to help more. I really want to help the indie scene out. You know, help out new talent. I really want to do some shit with Lido. I want to do some shit with Loke and band play. Just want to help out the communities of indie artists, especially in Detroit. Fucking with Rocaine, Snapdog, who else? A bunch of niggas. My nigga Payroll, even though he's not indie, but he cold. You know, Doughboy and them, Doughboy Cash Out. I could go down the list. I love the Detroit scene too. I want to just throw that in there because I fuck with them. I fuck with that scene a lot. Dusty McFly, Early Mac, Say Antone, everybody, and Finally Famous. So I like both music scenes. I like Nashville and Detroit's music scene. Propeller Head, man, they be showing hella love. I'm on Reason. I use Reason a lot. Reason is the shit. Sounds on there so crispy. I use GarageBand from time to time. I just started using Pro Tools, started learning how to use that like a year ago. And I'm like really getting the hang of that shit. That's mainly it. I use Scratch, what is this shit called? Serato DJ a lot. I make beats on that in a way too. I like use the cue points and like be figuring, I'll be sampling off of that too. I'll be figuring out how to chop on that, like the little pads and shit. It's kind of fun actually. The main programs I use: Serato DJ, GarageBand, Reason, Recycle. Recycle is a program under Propeller Head where you can chop samples and it'll automatically assign to the keyboard, like kind of like the ASR 10 keyboard when people used to sample really crazy back in the day before technology started advancing. And that's really it. Man, oh man, I don't even like to spoil the surprises, but there's one song that I really cannot wait to come out. I don't want to talk about it, but it's pretty cool. It's really cool. It's fucking sweet. Yeah, I ain't gonna spoil nothing. I hate jinxing myself.
Advice, what would it be?
Great question. If I could go back in time and give myself some advice, what would I do? What would I say to myself? If I could go back in time and say something to the younger me, what would it be? You get out more. I'm always in the house working. I just started getting out, like DJing and shit. I could have been doing that when I was a young dude. I just think I was just in the house a lot and recording. There's nothing wrong with that, but I wish I would have got out more. But then at the same time, I'm not mad at my focus, so I think me staying in the house made all the difference too. Not like being locked in the house, but I did like lock myself in the room, doing 5 beats a day for 3. But no, like that's what it was. I'm not mad at that, but you know, I wouldn't have never told myself to get out, because like I made a shitload of beats and people was picking old beats right now, new beats, and like I'm glad I have all the music I had, because I'm more focused working. I feel like I'm distracted if I'm not like working. I feel like staying in, locking myself in this motherfucker is helping me out, you know? So I wouldn't have told myself nothing. I would have did the same thing. Probably would have just made more beats, you know? Cause I be writing for a lot of people. So from time to time I exercise the skill. I don't know. I got a project. I don't want to speak too much on it. It's not out yet. I'm just waiting for something to happen for it to be out. I don't want to speak too much on that either, but it's pretty exciting. It's pretty, like I'm actually excited for all that's going into it right now. But the focus right now is like making beats and me and Sean dominating motherfuckers. And I don't believe in competition, but just dominating our sound, killing it and making the best music that we possibly can. Yeah.
One more. Mm-hmm. All right, you've worked with all these huge artists. What's one of the artists that you could mark out, or you want to, that is on the bucket list that you would love to work with?
I really just want to sit with Pharrell and create. I feel like his chords and mine could be something crazy. He is cold. Like he made Grinding, and then made I Still Love You for 702. Then made Happy, and then made God damn, like he's all over the place. Like his sound is great. I want to work with him tough. I want to work with Ye just as much, but like like hands-on. Like I want to sit down with Pharrell and pick his brain on his chords. Like the All Right beat is sweet, but the version of that beat that came out before All Right, which was the song called Presidential for Rick Ross, is sweeter. Like it's cold. Like the nigga is sweet. He's talented. He's gifted. And he's a great designer too. He made BBC one of the sweetest clothing lines to this day. Or, or something.
That's what's up, man.
This is.
I'm fucking with Concrete Mag. Shout out to Capo. Wanna do another one? I'm fucking with it. I'm fucking with Concrete Mag. Nigga. Let me tell you something. I'm fucking with Concrete Mag, bro. Niggas is taking over Nashville. They run Nashville. I'm glad they giving me this interview. Shout out to y'all for real. Thank you. Shake my hand.
Love, man.
Yeah.
This is Concrete TV.